Oh, many thanks to you for staying with us, and I'm all smiling and feeling irate this morning. Well, because it's a Monday, you see, whether you like it or not, Monday is here, and you have to stop crying over it. Yeah, and I'm here. At my guest, Mr. McLean Ajukache, communication member for the NDC, is here. He didn't cry that it's Monday. In fact, he got here very early. Let me say kudos to you on that one.
Thank
Good
you.
morning and welcome.
Good morning, Randy.
How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing very well.
Mm.
I'm doing very
And
well.
how has your weekend been? You've been on the scenes. I know that you're still monitoring. You know, do your evaluations and all that. How is it going for you?
We are still in the mood of celebrating women.
Yes.
As yesterday evening, I celebrated a woman, so I have to.
Oh wow. Your
say
mother?
that. Oh no, not my mother. The celebration is still on. Whether there is Mother's
Oh okay.
Women's Day or not.
Or not. I mean,
but
she's forever celebrated.
There are specific people that you
Okay.
have to celebrate, of
Very
which
well.
it's of great concern, but it has to be of no public interest.
Right. Right.
So let me say a good morning to my family,
Okay.
and then my good friends and lovely ones
Mm.
in and around Nungwa and Kaswa.
Very well. Very good. So you have good friends in Kaswa.
Very beautiful friends. Very beautiful
Interesting.
friends.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, like you said, it mustn't be of public interest. This
Yes.
is between yourself and I. Yes. So we will well, so, I mean, you had a great weekend, and I can
Yes,
say that fairly, my weekend was okay. I believe that our viewers also had a very great weekend.
Sure.
That is why they decided to stay with us here on Adwa Television, AM Ghana. But for the University of Education and some other, Ghanaians, they had to mourn. They are bereaved because a road crash at Esuboi on the Accra Kumasi Highway around the Suhum
Yeah.
area claimed about 14 lives, 9 of which are University of Education Winneba students. And then again, the question of safety on our roads comes to mind. I have not read the full account of what went into the road carnage, but I mean, we were not done mourning our brothers and sisters from Apiate, and then this one happens. What does this make for you? I mean, do you feel that these could have been certainly avoided, if not mitigated at all?
Thank you, Reginald. Death is inevitable. Just that sometimes, not sometimes, always, it doesn't write permission letters to us before
Certainly.
a visit, and it doesn't knock. That is why you live every day as though it's your last day.
Very well.
Especially those of us who believe in Christianity. Yeah, this reminds me, the man I stayed with from class 6 to GSS 3, I also lost him. He's an elder of the Church of Pentecost in the Biakoya constituency, Kwame Krum Central Church of Pentecost. So, yes, I'm also mourning.
Right. Condolences.
Then, to the issue of our brothers and sisters who are involved in the bus accident, it's disheartening because I saw the pictures, and when I look at what is happening, especially on our roads, we have always been campaigning for the drive safe slogan. But the question here is, are we able to implement or probably put into use these campaigns that we've been engaging in? I am not conversant with the details
Very well.
of the cause of these accidents, but with all other researches that are available, there are specific things that contribute to these accidents. One, the bad nature of our roads. Two, overspeeding. Three, driving recklessly. These are issues that has always been on the face of accident on our highways. I extend my condolence to the families of these people and to the university authority as well. But one thing I'll add is that we are in times that you have to be conscious of yourself to be able to protect your life. Though our lives are in the hands of God, He has given us brains to be able to protect. And the kind of drivers we produce, I am being told that there is a research coming out indicating that most of our public drivers do not even go through the required training and driving school system.
Well, they pride themselves with that, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes you find them insulting people who are law-abiding, driving school for.
Yes.
If, you know, having gone to driving school is a crime.
So if we really want to affect things in the driving industry, that school has to be well regulated. Because I see some schools and even the cars that are parked there to be used to train new drivers for people to learn how to drive. It's nothing to write home about. If you look at the total number of accidents that we have on our roads, public transport users are more, unlike the private cars.
Certainly.
And you would also realize that majority of these private people deliberately, consciously, and with all effort go through that education system to be well trained. Why? Because they feel that I'm driving and I'm the mother or the father of the house, so I can't go and kill myself. But when you are sitting in a public car, you are not the driver. Your life is in the hand of that driver. I sat in a public transport from Kpando to Accra. The driver told us that as for car, when you sit inside, it's like you have entered coffin and they close it.
Wow.
So when you arrive safely, you say, thank you, God.
Wow.
How can you have such mentality and be driving?
So it's like you sit in the car and then he's taking you straight to the cemetery.
My brother, I can't think far. Ask Louis to put it.
Yeah, I'm happy that you are touching on, you know, the drivers and the quality of drivers. I don't know where to place this, but an account that was heard in the Esuboy, you know, accident indicates that the driver was, you know, sleeping at a point. Although, I mean, the account I have here in the Ghanaian Times says that the driver, where is it? Okay, so DSP Tete explained that on reaching a section of the road at Esuboy, the driver was said to have failed to observe traffic ahead as he was alleged. Okay, so it's the same thing, as he was alleged to be sleeping.
You see, Reginald, till now, the driver that was driving our good entertainment friend Ebony before she died, what is the end of that case at the court now? The driver was charged with manslaughter. And people in this country are still agitating that he should be forgiven, for Ebony has died, and putting the guy behind bars. What is the importance? He should go. He has to go and serve some time as deterrent to others.
For manslaughter?
Yes. If you are driving, like what that man said before he was driving us.
Manslaughter, I mean, if the legal essence in itself is that the intent.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
There is no intent to cause harm.
Yes.
To the person who might have, you know, lost their lives. That is why it is termed manslaughter. You know, in legality, you know, they deal with the act and the intent behind the act as well. So when it is termed manslaughter, I mean that does not necessarily call for.
How do you define, identify, and prove the intentions of an individual before he commits? Unless you have to go through an inquisitorial process,
of course,
to be able to bring out that.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, the accident happening alone is enough evidence to see that you have killed. And killing is part of manslaughter when they are determining the case. If there is no killing,
I mean, there is manslaughter, there is murder, and you know there are several other forms of killing, which defines. I mean, it is the intent behind it.
In the case of Ebony's driver, that is what the judgment as pronounced.
Exactly.
So that is what we receive. That's why I have to go on that line, because I
Right.
can't use murder whilst
Okay.
the High Court used manslaughter. I am
Mm.
not better off than them in the
Very
legal
well.
aspect.
Mm.
But my problem here is that if you are driving, we all drive. There was a time that I was even riding motorbike, then my brake failed.
Wow.
All of a sudden, and I was getting to a town.
Mm.
It was not an easy thing.
Mm.
It's out of experience
Mm.
and the grace of God that I was able to survive.
Mm.
Because the speed on which I was before I applied brake wasn't going through.
Wow.
And I was descending, not that I was
Oh,
ascending, that I may have some.
it sounds like an action movie.
Bro, what I'm telling you, it's an issue that has to call for celebration that I'm still alive.
I think so. I think so.
So when there's an accident and investigation shows that it's brake failure, even the brake failure itself is an issue that the driving company or the ownership of that truck has to be invited.
Very well.
You get it?
I'm getting you.
If it's at the side of the driver sleeping, that one too is an issue that they have to be invited.
Certainly.
So whether or not this side or this side, we need to work on it. The question here is that there are accidents that happen in other jurisdictions, but how often is it compared to our country? You get it? Your good friend, Kweku Chains, who has been doing the comedy videos, you see he has been making some comparisons. It's really serious. Though it's a comedy that we laugh over it.
Well, let's rather put it satire.
Yes.
Because he's doing comedy to actually pinpoint real life
Exactly.
issues.
Look at the kind of car somebody would have to even use 2 hands to change gear. Like, what kind of car is this? Bro, if you think that this young man is lying of the videos he produced, take the pain.
No, nobody's saying he's lying.
Oh,
in
no,
fact,
I'm only
with
yes. Just take the pains and go to even Accra here. Accra here, the cars that goes to the fishing communities and things. Sometimes they put stool in the chair for us to sit on it, and we have government institutions that regulate and approve these cars. Roadworthy certificate. What do you inspect before you allow these cars on the road? This morning when I was coming, a car was in front of me. You think that they were, preparing cassava for fufu in the car, because the fumes coming out, it's just too much. But we have roadworthy certificate department under the DVLA. What is their work? Well, you get it? So it is not only going to be the drivers, the transport ownership, but institutions that are supposed to regulate. We will not, free the road ministry. We will not take feeder roads and all those things out. There are times that you can be driving outside Accra and you see a very sharp curve, but there is no sign telling you that you are approaching a curve. So the whole country itself is disorganized when it comes to issues of this sort. So even if the driver is so experienced and he's driving, he drives with signals on the road. Now he approaches a particular curve and there is no signal. You cannot blame the driver for that.
Certainly.
You can't, especially when you are driving at night.
I was coming to that. When this incident was recorded, I had a conversation with a friend of mine. He's an engineer. And he indicated to me that, well, he actually established a different school of thought. So according to him, all of these technicalities that we call for, and he even took me to a time when Toyota produced range of Corollas that were failing miserably at braking. That it killed well over 100 people, and they ascertained all of these things. They realized that it was the fault was coming from the manufacturer. So they recalled all of these cars. However, Toyota fixed that mistake, and they've still been brandishing the Corolla brand, which you and I are very popular of. But with all the technicalities being put as into consideration, take a company like Tesla, for instance. They are putting so much into driver safety, such that Tesla cars can now drive themselves, and they seem to be the rather law-abiding cars. However, he establishes the cases of the state of the economy. It says we should let's take a look at the driver's situation. For instance, he was feeling sleepy, and this person knows that he should, of course, have had a break, or perhaps gone to take his rest for another driver to take up, the bus. But he decided to take it up because one way or the other he wants to make some extra cash at the expense of the people, that he was driving. Now, he established such lies that when the economy becomes so difficult, when people want to do anything to survive, sometimes these are some of the end results. Do you agree?
I agree more than 200%. I didn't want to go to that side because lives are lost and we are mourning. And there are comments when you begin to sound, people begin to read political.
Well, let's try as much not to politicize this. Let's look at.
Yeah, but the difficulty we are talking about, yes, it is one of the reasons that can cause that. But that is why in a society we have rules and we have regulations. I know STC like this, they have 2 drivers always on board. So that one driver can drive not more than 4 hours.
Right.
Then the second person will take. So in this case, we don't know what kind of arrangement went into before the car hits the road. So whether there is difficulty or no difficulty, provided there is a rule that states that any car that will embark on a journey more than 6 hours should have 2 drivers on board. That rule has to be applied. Whether or not we apply it or not is another issue to be talked about. But do we even have that rule in existence?
Well,
because trust me, I can't say because of the difficulty in the system, I am going to walk from here to Aflau.
Certainly not.
It means I will even die on the way before I get there.
Oh, you can make it move, but
I'm not doing that as sports.
Not
I'm talking about me.
Okay.
If we are bringing sports guys, they can walk from here on the basis of sport to achieve a particular aim. But taking my dad from room, and he said the system is very hot and difficult. So this year, when we are going to our hometown, we should start working with your luggages. Like, no. So difficulties is in the system. We agree to that. But there have been accidents over time. You get it? Whether or not this government time or another government, from Nkrumah's time till now, we used to have accidents. The question here is, what is there that we are not doing right that this accident is still continuing? That is what we should ask. Now, when you look at Toyota, when they had that problem, they pulled the cars back. And I think they even paid damages and all those things. They worked on it and they are now giving us better cars. Better cars that human beings will sleep and be driving. How can we stop killing? So whether the car is fantastic or not, the human being that is in charge is important.
So the human factor.
The human factor is important. The same way, if you have a very good driver and the car is failing him, you will still have people dying. Right. That is why I am not comfortable pointing finger at individuals in this issue.
Right.
For all you know, if the driver is alive, I don't know whether he's alive or he has also died. If you talk to him and he has to be truthful, for all you know, there are other things that happen beyond just the sleeping.
Well, we've always, called for education, advocacy, sensitization of drivers, the fixture of our roads, and responsibility on everyone's side, on the side of the driver, on the side of the pedestrian, on the side of the passenger as well. It's unfortunate. This is not the time to, shift blames, although we need to, look up ahead and think of ways of ensuring that accidents on our roads would be totally or extremely minimized, if not totally eradicated. Let's move away from that. We wish our condolences to the bereaved families. We wish you God's strength. in these times, to the University of Education, to the students, the friends, and all of you. Let's move away from that. Here in the Daily Graphic, why deputy speakers can vote, the Supreme Court has explained. But before we go into that, Right Honorable Aban Sumana Kingsford Gbagbin, the Speaker of Parliament, expressed his displeasure, especially to His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, over his statement on the court's ruling. So it's from one arm to the other arm to the other arm of government. And he also advised the petitioner to call for a review. Mr. McLean Ajukache, first off, I've not heard your view about the ruling from the court. What do you say?
Randy, Reggie, sorry. I think my boss just WhatsApp me. He's watching the program.
Very well.
Mr. Mustafa, Comrade Mustafa.
Okay.
He's the one responsible for Greater Accra
Oh,
placement.
Mustafa Neti.
Yes.
Well, very good morning to him.
Yeah, he's the one that asked me to come here. If
Very
he
well.
said don't come here, no
You can't
amount of stretches can bring me to this place.
Right.
So he's our boss. Whether you are big or not, you are under him. And we want to say thanks to him for allowing himself to be used by God
All right.
to bless NDC and Ghana. Reggie, the 2020 elections has come to give us another phase of democratic dispensation. And whether or not we are learning from it is an issue of concern to me. If not for the purposes or the issues of numbers in Parliament, the 137, and the independent doing business with MPP making them 138, we will not even be getting to these agitations of whether or not deputy speakers can vote or not.
Well, certainly.
That is the genesis of this whole thing.
Very well.
I will get to the Supreme Court, don't worry. So my problem is that it's a totally new item that is on the table, and the old rules will not apply. Pomposity will not apply. Feeling that I have the bigger muscles will not apply. This is where consensus building and bridge building has to come in. It is not an issue of using legal and the law system to intimidate or to push your agenda. It will not work, because don't forget, if you push it in your favor and you are not in power, when another government comes, it will be in their favor too, and it will be against you. So I believe that the system itself is trying to reshape our thinking democratically and politically, but as humans, we are feeling too big to learn from this. So it's as a result of these agitations in Parliament that led a private legal practitioner to take this case to court, seeking the interpretation on whether deputy speakers can vote or not. The Supreme Court ruled, said yes. Basically, that is what they mean. Yes, they can vote. I'm not a lawyer, but I have come to understand that, Reginald, every member of Parliament, whether you are occupying the position of a deputy speaker or not, you have a voting right. You have a voting right as a member of Parliament. Now, there are different types of voting depending on positions you hold. There is something they call original vote, and there's something we call casting vote. If you look at the parliamentary orders, it states that when you are presiding, the person presiding, you have lost your what? Original vote, which means that you have to discount your vote. What is the intention of the framers of the Constitution and the standing orders of Parliament to that effect is to bring neutrality, so that the person who is sitting would not be influencing decisions in his or her direction. The Supreme Court, whether or not they are supporting the bid of the NPP, they should not forget that when we come to power as NDC, we will also occupy the same position. And our people will also be deputy speakers there. You get what I'm saying? So when they are taking decision because it will favor a particular political party today, I have never seen in Ghana that any political party has occupied office for more than 8 years. It will affect all of us and it will affect the state. Now, they said they can vote. I have only few things to say about that. My disagreement is that when it comes to voice vote, when a deputy speaker is presiding and he said those in favor say aye, and those who are not in favor say no, then he will now, by determination of that, will say the noes have it or the yes have it. How would he, who put the question, will join to say no or yes? If he joined the yes, you hear him shouting than any other person. So he will definitely go for the side he shouted for.
But also, again, the speaker or whoever is presiding reserves the right to pronounce which side has it.
Yes.
Now,
so if
there are instances, where obviously the noes would have it, but the speaker may decide to say that the ayes have it. And this is very challenging because it is a voice vote.
You see, when they were approving the budget,
exactly,
it was that same thing that happened when Afenyo Martins moved a motion that there should be a head count, and he went against them. You get it? Then he went against them. So I am asking myself, if they are telling us that the deputy speakers are people who can vote, who are supposed to be neutral, then let's link that to committee heads in the same parliament. The committee heads, the only vote they have is a casting vote. They also they lose their original vote, assuming the seat as chairman of any parliamentary committee. But there is a casting vote to determine if there is a tie. So for them to break that tie, that is when they come into vote.
Exactly.
So now that you are telling...
At the committee level, neutrality doesn't necessarily play in there, because you know that the chairman is usually picked from the majority side.
Not all committees.
I mean,
Public Accounts Committee
is
from this side.
Right. So basically, to establish, the chairpersons of the committees are picked from the political sides.
It's good
which is different. I beg your sorry.
Yeah.
Which is different from, you know, the role of the speaker. So I find it a bit challenging, those who are likening, you know, the speaker to a committee chairperson and calling for the Supreme Court to look at that as well.
You see, Reginald, sorry I'm calling you Randy.
Very well.
Reginald, we have to get to a level in politics to understand that, look, we have outgrown some mentality. Not because I am a member of the NDC. NDC has taken a stand, and automatically I have to consume that stand and defend it. Then where is my sense of reasoning as an individual?
Right.
I may have my own understanding, but I can also agree at a point that I am going with my party. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Very well.
You can't say because you are appointed as an NPP rep for a particular committee in parliament, automatically, if NPP said that today we are invading the country to kill everybody, because I'm a member of the NPP, we are going. That means that we are not politically matured. Is that how it happens from the people we are learning from? We should get to a level whereby we will be arguing as NDC NPP, but at the end of the day, we are looking at the country. But in our side of governance, it's not like that. When I'm arguing an NDC NPP person, the person sees you like the argument is for NDC NPP. The argument is not for NDC NPP. It is for Ghana.
Right.
So when we take the Ghana aspect out, then there is problem. Serious problem. You get what I'm saying? Now, no decision is taken on the floor of parliament, the plenary, if it is not considered at committee level. So you cannot trivialize the position of a committee head and expect that decisions that are taken there will become relevant and have its positive implication or impact at the higher level, that's the plenary section. Don't forget, most of the document we receive that comes out, it is not considered at the main sitting.
Of course.
It is considered at the committee level.
Certainly.
So the people who work at these committee levels are very important committees that we have to even be paying close attention to than the real parliament.
The question is, what's the call that the committee, chairpersons be removed, put a neutral person there?
No,
or
no,
because
you cannot. No, you see, you cannot remove the committee here. People are advocating that we should appoint public servants to first and second deputy speaker position, so that it will not be for.
You see, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter that the committees are appointed to look into relevant or substantive matters that are presented before the House, because at the end of the day, it still comes into the House. It is read, the debate, before they take decisions on the committee reports on the matter.
Yes.
So again, it comes back to the House. So I still don't find that connection that you're trying to build. But let's hear you.
Yes.
Let's hear you so that
Reginald,
we understand.
what I'm saying is that you cannot at any point in time disagree with me that the neutrality of a committee head is not that important. It's very important.
Very important. That's not what we are assuming.
You get it? Very important. There is no way we are also going to say that.
The reason why that
let me land. There is no way you are going to say that because you are an MPP person or NDC person and you are appointed to chair a committee, it means that it makes you a one-sided thinker. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Moreover, it is because we feel that the government of the day has its vision, policies that they want to, bring to fruition. That is the reason why most of the time the committees are chaired by their people who understand their policies and will have the free chance to meet their ministers and their president to have discussions that if you are an NDC person sitting in that position, you may not be able to role in that. I get what I'm saying. Another problem that I have is that, look, we can review our constitution from the 1992 constitution to all laws in the country, but if we don't have a change mindset, we will still be at the same place. So sometimes it is not even about the law. It is about self-interest.
Certainly, self-interest comes into play.
As Haruna will put it, he said this is an e-levy bid. He said you are just employing the judicial system to support the e-levy.
Okay, so we've heard your bit. Now, Speaker is admonishing the petitioner, Justice
Abdullahi.
Justice Abdullahi, to seek for a review of the Supreme Court's decision. The minority, the NDC, seems unhappy about the Supreme Court's ruling, certainly, and of course. But I was there in Parliament when Speaker Bagbin says that the matter has been referred to the Supreme Court and that the Supreme Court would come clear on the matter. He said this. Why is the Speaker taking a U-turn on something he agreed to?
The Speaker is not taking a U-turn on something he agreed to.
But he agreed to the Supreme Court's interpretation
of
what a master of their own laws, could not come clear on.
He is not against the Supreme Court. You get it?
But against the ruling of the Supreme Court.
Yes.
But you trusted. You said that they have it.
Reginald,
was he expecting a particular direction from the Supreme Court?
Let me tell you. What is the importance of judicial review? What is its importance? It is in systems like this that the importance of judicial review becomes relevant. You cannot say that because you are my father, I have come to report a case to you, and whatever you say is final. What if the case I have brought to you, you end up judging the case in a direction that the wrong person is now killed? And you want me to sit down to pretend that because I agree with my father, and I believe that he could have given a best judgment.
So that means that before you sent that case to your father, you already knew who the wrong person was.
No, it is not. It is not.
It is not. That your father will call for the prosecution of the wrong person and not the other person who did not commit a crime.
What is the essence of a ruling? A ruling is to clear all ambiguities. So if you have
So
ruled,
if
no,
you
no,
believe that
no,
believe
if
that
you have
Speaker
ruled,
believes that
no, but
all ambiguities have not been cleared, he had a preconceived thought. Is that what you are saying?
Reggie, no,
he had a
he doesn't.
preconceived
He doesn't.
inception that
He doesn't.
the ruling should go in this way
His
because
his last statement.
he trusted in the Supreme Court.
No, his last statement that the guy should go for a review is dependent on the outcome of what the Supreme Court judgment, the outcome of the judgment.
Of course. So I'm asking, is that because it did not go in the favor?
Not because it didn't go in his favor, but Bagbin is an astute lawyer. You get it? Bagbin is somebody who knows what he wants to do at any point in time, and he won't come out without considering the parliamentary legal system before he will come out to put that statement there. Bagbin does not come to talk his conscience. He doesn't come to talk his feelings. He doesn't come to say that this is what Bagbin said. It is not Bagbin that is ruling the parliamentary system. For all you know, what he's saying will even come out of the parliamentary board and all those people's interest. Now, what I'm telling you is that it is not only NDC people that are, crying or are in disagreement with this judgment. It is not only NDC. The entire country is in uproar of this particular judgment. Now, if Bagbin said that...
Not the entire country. Remember that there are members of the, current administration whom this ruling, of course, tend to... They find some good meaning.
That is why I'm telling you that the problem I have with Ghana and us now is that because I belong to MPP and this issue is brought up and it is in favor of the MPP, thumbs up for them. Whether it is good or not, thumbs up. We have MPP people who come on your show to defend corruption, to defend things that you see that, look at the health minister's issue, where he has to step aside. They were defending him until now, they are still defending him. So that is what I'm telling you, that our system itself, that is problematic already.
So we are
tilted towards partisan politics. We
are talking about the judicial system. Do you agree with the minority leader that the judicial system, the pronouncement by the court is, a political support for e-levy?
Randy.
Reggie.
Now
I'll start charging you.
Reggie.
Yeah.
You and I agree that this case went to the Supreme Court at the back of what? E-levy. It is an e-levy brouhaha.
Well, of course, from the
on this case,
2022 budget.
Approval.
The speaker's conduct that led to the approval of the 2022 budget.
So that is
where he counted himself in. So it wasn't about e-levy.
That is the premises from which the legal thought of going to court came up.
Okay.
So the premises from which the issue came up that, okay, this is what has happened. Let's go to Supreme Court and get interpretation.
Fine.
But where I am coming from, where the food is prepared, you are only smelling the aroma. So let me give you what I saw in the pot. That is very important to this show. The political pot.
Okay. I was there in Parliament.
No, you were in Parliament, but when we talk about what happens in the pot, in the preparation of the fish, you were not there. I'm telling you, as a political activist, that what led for the decision to go to court is different from what led the judges to give that ruling.
What led Justice Abdullahi to go to court?
What led him is as a result of the disagreement that happened in Parliament on the back of what? Approving the 2022 budget, where the speaker said, I will vote. He is claiming that he has not voted.
He said, but member of parliament for Bekwai.
Yes.
Count his vote as a member of parliament.
Yes.
For Bekwai.
For Bekwai. So it is at that backdrop that we went to, Abdullahi went to court to seek for interpretation. That is the reason why we went there. But I'm telling you that the reason why the Supreme Court gave that judgment, as Haruna and other well-meaning Ghanaians are saying, is that it's a support for e-levy. Are you not in this country when they told us that they have to give Adwoa Safo a private jet just to come and vote on e-levy? It failed.
You wait.
Are you not in this? No. Let me give you basis. No, let me give you basis. Basis to which we agree.
I get the basis.
No, let me give you basis to which we agree that it is a support for e-levy. I get what I'm saying.
Okay.
So they are thinking that when they allow the speakers to be able to vote on this issue at any point in time, they can have a quorum. Let me tell you, if you are telling us that denying Joe Usu, Joe Wise, denying him to vote on parliamentary issue is as though you are denying the constituents of his constituency.
Oh, I mean the constituents.
Yeah, the constituents. That is what Supreme Court
Required,
stated.
but of course, anybody else can be
Yes,
speaker.
yes,
deputy
but
speaker.
no, but that is what the Supreme Court established.
Exactly.
Now I'm telling you that Santro Kofi, Akpafu, Lolobi, and Likpe, which is the SAL, are disenfranchised. Till now, they have not voted. They don't have representation in parliament.
I mean,
are they not human beings?
A constituency has not been created for them
No,
yet.
no, you can't
So
say
they
that.
don't
How long will it take you to create a constituency and vote?
That is no. I'm not against you.
No,
What
when the
I'm
Supreme,
saying-
no, you see, that's what I'm telling you. That when the Supreme Court, don't worry, I am not too hot yet. You see, when the Supreme Court at a point in time, if the Supreme Court at a point in time would take a bold step to defend a particular group of people and say that when you cause the speaker not to vote at the end of the day,
So let's assume-
then those people are not voting. Then what happens to the people there?
Let's assume SAL, a constituency has been filed for SAL. They have a representative, okay, and the representative has been appointed as perhaps first or second deputy speaker. He sits in the chair to preside, and then because of his position as deputy speaker, he is disenfranchised of vote. Would you have a problem with
You
that?
see, let me tell you, the
No,
problem.
I'm asking you, would you have a
No,
problem with that?
your question cannot push me to say yes or no. I have to give you my reasoning.
Okay, give me your reason. But yes or no before you give me your reason. I don't know what you are giving reason to.
Probably after my yes or no, then I'll add the my reasoning. I'll give you the yes or no.
You give an answer before you give reasons. In an
Randy,
examination,
at the
you
end
don't
of the day, when I'm writing essay, I can
Let's
decide
go.
to put my yes at the end, at the tail of the
I'll
essay.
mark you wrong, but let's go.
You see, when they have a representation in parliament, and then the person is appointed to become speaker, one thing you have to know is that when he comes to parliament, he's part of the people who form quorum.
Certainly.
That is the first basics.
Which means that his role as deputy speaker
Don't worry.
is
So
not
before no, Regina, give me the chance to flow.
Flow.
Before you are appointed as a deputy speaker, you are given a time frame not less than 30 days to go back to your constituents, agree with them that this is the challenge I am going for, these are the disadvantages and these are the advantages before you go in for it. So you don't just wake up from your own self and say that, oh yes, I want to be deputy speaker at the detriment to your constituent. No, your constituent should agree with you and know that when you assume this position, then it means that on some particular issues, our voice will not be heard. Then they will agree with you before you go for that position. It shouldn't be for your own interest. And that is how our political system is becoming very porous. And we sit down to accept it in that way.
Do you think it is
down.
wrong that the people will be disenfranchised because the speaker, the member of parliament will preside as first or deputy speaker? Do you think it is wrong?
You see, there are times that the people we are talking about are not in parliament and vote goes on. Are they not disenfranchised? It's not the same thing.
Very well. But I'm asking, that does not justify. Is that right?
No.
Is it right that sometimes the members will not be around and voting will go on? Is that right?
When you ask a question like that, it means that you are pushing us to give you some form of yes or no. But I'm asking you back.
Yeah, because I need
No,
us to
no,
get.
you see,
it's like we are
no, you cannot dance around this
circle.
You see, no.
The dancing
when
in this
it
circle
comes
is
to
not really helping us to the point.
When it comes to governance issues, you cannot say because you are standing there, you see 9. When I'm standing at this place, it is 6. I should also say 9. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I'm getting you.
When you go to parliament, naturally, it is something that you can't say it is right for the people to be disenfranchised. You can't say that. Good.
You can't say that.
But one, if the member of parliament is not well and you are disenfranchised, would you blame somebody? If he's on national assignment, there will be no proxy voting for him.
MPs don't have deputies.
MPs don't have deputies.
So
you are gone
like that.
If he's out of the country, probably on health issues, and he has to travel, and they vote, he will not vote. What do you say to that?
Okay.
So looking at all these scenarios, and you only one sitting in a chair, and the speaker is not dead, the speaker is alive. The speaker is not out of the country forever, he will not come back again. And you are not the only speaker. That is why they don't choose the 2 deputy speakers from the same political party.
Very well.
That's why we chose an independent, and then we chose the MPP. If they are smart people and intelligent people, as they brag themselves to be, they would have understood this game from the beginning and would have stand against the independent candidate being proposed for being deputy speaker, so that it will not enter.
Now. It doesn't matter.
No, you see, the genesis of every issue is important. You cannot tell me that you have put a flat foundation, then tomorrow I want to convert a 3-bedroom flat now to 60-story building. It's not possible.
It has been done. The foundation of the.
So we can say it was done. So at the end of the day, we will not condemn it. We should tell them that they have failed. They have failed.
Right.
The majority speaker, majority leader in parliament, I always advocate that he is somebody that I used to respect him. But in this test time of our democracy, the MPP side has failed us as a country because they are not ready to build consensus. They are not ready to engage. They want to show the public that, yeah, we are NPP, and everybody has to know that we look, that we will not do. My hometown, they used to tell us that it is not the bigness of your chest that buys the pork.
Okay.
It is your pocket.
Right. Now, let's come back. Let's come back to, Speaker Bagbin's, call for the for the petitioner to seek a review. So I'm asking, what's there in a review? What's to be reviewed? Is it because Speaker himself again had indicated that, the speed with which the judiciary, took up the opportunity to, I'm just paraphrasing, to penetrate, parliamentary affairs is not right. Okay? Now, he's calling for a review. What kind of review? Is he calling for the same, intrusion of parliamentary affairs, or is the pronouncement, what exactly is the speaker
Good.
calling for?
Before I go there, are you aware when you write exam at the university and you feel that you've been cheated, you call for a review?
Yes, that is because you have a preconceived thought that what you have written or what you believe you have produced,
it is not about
ideal.
It is not only about belief. It is not only about belief,
but about knowledge.
When you suspect also that no, this lecture wasn't fair, you can also call for a review.
But of course, he wouldn't. I mean, the establishment of fairness would have been on the basis of knowing what you have produced.
No. At the end of the day, I'm telling you that there are people that are deliberate just to pull you down. Have you read the judgment?
I have.
I've read it carefully, and the Supreme Court could not quote any serious authority. Have you seen any mention two serious authorities that back their decision? Like other cases and jurisprudence, that when they are giving judgment, they seek serious authority to back the judgment. Have you seen one? We have not seen that. Number two, the review, calling for review, is just to give a proper interpretation to whatever they have done.
So they have given the interpretation.
And they have heard the argument that the public is raising. So they should be able. You see, there are comments that comes up that seem to be funny, but they hold water. They are very strong. Reggie, when they started the judgment, all the 7 judges that sat on the case are all appointed by MPP administration. No one judge is appointed by NDC.
But how many did you appoint in your time?
Oh, relax. Doesn't mean that even if we have appointed only 2, are they dead? Are they dead?
Go on.
Are they not able to perform again? Which Supreme Court case that you see clearly a political motivation behind had any NDC Chief Justice sitting on it? Though these cases, we take them lightly, but they are of concern because it's a game that we are playing. And we, as citizens, we should not sit down as though we don't know what is going on and be pretending and be. Let me tell you, when you come out to tell us in this country that the country is going on well, who are the people to confirm that truly the country is going on well? It's the citizens. So if the citizens are saying that we are unemployed and you are telling them that we have employed a lot of people, at the end of the day, it is the citizens in the country that will tell you. So when you bring a judgment, the judgment is to better the processes that will affect the life of who? The citizens. And the citizens are telling you that what you are saying is wrong. The law that they go there to interpret, though it is made by who? Parliament, it is made for us and from us. So the final authority of the law resides in us. In us, the citizens. So when we, the citizens, we say that no, we don't think that what is happening is good. We want us to keep quiet.
Of course, we as citizens, I mean the masses of citizens, we share our opinions, and sometimes these opinions are, well informed. Sometimes these opinions emanate from different sources, from sentiments, from affiliation, and from different sources. However, the Supreme Court has the onus of ruling by the one document that we all have to abide by. And a good friend of mine says that the Constitution is just a piece of paper with writings on it. We as citizens who hold the power to the sovereignty of the nation and, to the Constitution, owe it a responsibility to abide by the Constitution. That is what makes that paper worthwhile. Now, the Supreme Court has the onus of relying on that same paper. And they say that over the years, we have always practiced constitutional sovereignty over parliamentary sovereignty. Now, parliamentary sovereignty is just within that small circle, of parliament as one of the arms, the legislative arms of government. So you come back to the Constitution and they find something. Bear in mind, the Constitution has been, the bane of practice, constitutional sovereignty. And it's even there in, I think, chapter 1, 2 of the 1992 Constitution, that no other bylaw shall be in, I'm just paraphrasing, shall be in inconsistency with the 1992 Constitution. So they find something that they believe is in inconsistency to the 1992 Constitution, and it is stated clearly there at, in Article 104. It's stated clearly there. So they make a comparison and they strike out certain portions of the standing orders of Parliament. And they clearly indicated that the Constitution is clear about who is elected as the Speaker, okay, and a presiding Deputy Speaker, for which they drew the gap. Now, remember that these Deputy Speakers owe a primary responsibility of representing their people,
Reggie,
in Parliament. So they have ruled by the Constitution, which is sovereign. And you are saying that we should base on opinions, which comes from different, of course, we have people who belong to the NDC who are agitating against. Should we necessarily listen to them because they have some, allegiance to the party and they feel like it doesn't go well with them?
If they
At the end of the day, you said we should put Ghana first.
If NDC has agitations, and one of the strongest pillars that holds to the underpinnings in the establishment and the performance of the NDC is the Speaker, Alban Suman Bagri, who is a member of the NDC. Yes. He's telling you should go for a review. What is so much important or not important about this?
But you said
it is very important.
You said
let me tell you,
should listen to opinions of Ghanaians.
Yes, and the opinions of Ghanaians, Bagri's opinion is not part of those opinions.
Is he speaking as a speaker? Or, the speaker, or he's speaking
unless otherwise, Bagri is chairing a speaker that doesn't have parliamentarians who under them have constituents indirectly giving their powers through to them to be held by the speaker.
You can't hold the speaker to the NDC because he says that he cannot be he can be impartial, okay,
but he will be partisan.
He cannot.
No, I just wanted to see if that is what you are going to say.
That's not what I'm going to
see. Let me tell you. He
says that he can be impartial.
Yes.
Hold on, but he cannot be neutral.
He cannot be neutral. You get it? And he cannot also be what? Impartial.
He says he can be.
He can be impartial.
Yes.
But he cannot be
such
neutral.
That his ruling cannot go. Hold on. Let me clarify that for you. Maybe you don't understand.
I get
He said that he can be impartial, but not neutral.
Yes.
Not neutral because whatever is presented to the House bothers him. He's a Ghanaian.
Yeah.
All right. So he's not neutral to the fact that has been tabled, but he cannot be partial to a particular side. These sides are supposed to vote on a matter that has been tabled. Okay. So I don't know why you want to hold the speaker as if he was partial.
No. I never said that. You asked me that you said citizens, and I use that side to answer you. Nevertheless, my concern here is that the speaker cannot authoritatively wake up today and say whatever you people has ruled, we will not go by it. He can't.
So
that is the reason why he's calling on the young man to go for a review. Is that not wise?
What if the review comes with the same explanation? Are you not satisfied with the explanation?
Which explanation?
From the Supreme Court.
You yourself, are you satisfied?
Why are you asking me
No,
this?
you yourself are you are a Ghanaian. You are
I
not.
mean, the Supreme Court
You
has
see,
given reason,
let me
and
tell you,
I find reason
we
in
are
the,
not. We are
reasoning
not.
of the Supreme Court.
No, giving reason
Above all,
no,
like
giving,
you say, let's put
Reginald,
Ghana first.
Reginald, giving reason doesn't make you reasonable.
I find the Supreme Court to be reasonable in
That's
their
what I'm
reasoning.
saying. That you said they have given reasons. You can give reason, and giving reason doesn't make you reasonable. I can give you reasons why I slap somebody, and that can be unreasonable reasons. But it's a reason at the end of the day, right?
Right.
Good.
So the Supreme Court.
Now, did you read the judgment? And at the latter part of it, they come to tell us. They turn around and come back to tell us that at the end of the day, Parliament has its own authority to make its laws, and they should look at their procedural rules.
That is constitutional. Every institution has the power to make.
You see,
its
let me
own
tell
laws.
you, you are pushing this country to an angle where Parliament will also, at a point in time, says that we are making this law to regulate the judicial system, which will not be in their favor.
But they can't make the laws on their own. It has to go through to the executive. The executive will also have to assent to it as well.
Let me tell you.
The executive also has the mandate to
Reginald,
call for advice into it.
They can have all.
So let's not.
You see, no, you are not getting it. We are not saying Parliament is the most powerful institution, but I'm asking you, MPP is in power. Imagine that MPP, they were to be having 197 seats in Parliament now. Do you think we'll be talking about e-levy? No, do you think we'll be talking about e-levy? We will not talk about e-levy because they have the clear majority, whether the NDCs like it or not, provided they can vote and accept and move on. We have, like by this time, we have left that line. That's why I started by saying that the 2020 election, God wants to teach us a lesson, and I'm not sure we are learning that lesson. Do you know the lesson God wants us to learn? For us to get to a level where we begin to argue devoid of partisanship, devoid of hatred, devoid of having the mentality that I belong to NDC, I belong to MPP. And also God wants us to revisit our national agenda planning so that as a country, we have a national agenda. This is what we want to be in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, in the next 40 years. But a party will come to power because this is the policies that they have, whether NDC or MPP. Because they have to fulfill their promises, they automatically have to go through that line, whether it is going to affect the country or not. I get what I'm saying.
I'm getting you.
When we call on the president and his team that you are overborrowing, you are mismanaging the economy, your reckless lifestyle and your Arabia King lifestyle is really hurting the economy and the public purse, they told us that we should shut up. That is what has led. That is what has led to this e-levy, and you are forcing it into our throat. Let me tell you, a son who has decided that he will not take a particular medicine, even if you put it in his mouth, you swallow the water and keep the medicine in his cheeks and later on pour it out. That is the kind of system that the MPP is trying to push on us, and we are not ready to go by it.
Very well.
We will not go by it today. We will not go by it tomorrow. If they like, they should go back to their source.
But the Supreme Court has ruled. I mean, briefly.
That doesn't mean that.
What do you expect the minority, especially? I mean, they seem to be agitated, or I mean, not be in agreement with the Supreme Court's ruling. What do you expect them to do from now? I mean, Speaker has called for Justice Abdullahi to go for a review. That is just an advice.
Yes, but you see.
But in the meantime,
the rulings of
putting Ghana first, what do we do?
Yes. The rulings, let me address my members of parliament.
Very well.
The reason why we are telling you that this ruling is bad, the reason is that, look, the ruling has come to tell NDC MPs that don't back off. Okay. Be resolute.
Okay.
Push against the NPP. That is what the ruling has come to do.
I see.
Because if they had given a common room for all of us to be heard, both the minority and majority, it would have been better. But you are using your office as a judicial people to support the e-levy, and you want them to back down. We will vote every day, even if our MPs are not well. We'll bring hospital to the parliament there.
Wow.
To come and take care of them.
There's actually a hospital. There is a hospital.
You get it. To come, but as a state, yes, we have to grow, and we have to learn from what is happening. We have to learn.
Very well.
Whatever that is happening.
Mr. McLean Ajokache, communication member for the National Democratic Congress. Sincerely, his views and opinions on the matters arising. And once again, we say our condolences to the families of those who have lost their lives at the Eduse, is that Eduse? Eduman
Eduman.
accident. We'll wrap up on the conversation at this point. Makli, thank you very much for coming once
Welcome.
again. Well, when we come back, remember we were talking about COVID-19. So yes, from COVID-19, we recorded our first case in 2022. So it's actually 2 years. So 2 years on, and we are asking, how has the tourism sector, which was hard hit, sustained itself within these times? We'll be having a conversation with Mr. Emmanuel Frimpong, the Executive Secretary for the Ghana Tourism Federation, and Julia will take you through this one. So once again, I'll leave you with the saying that Mondays, of course, are the days that we hate and love at the same time. But I will charge you to love Monday, put some, use into it. Do not procrastinate, and of course, hopefully, and by the grace of God, your week would be as fruitful as mine would be. I'm wishing you a fruitful week, and enjoy this next conversation coming up with Julia.